Hello everybody, welcome to lesson 4 IELTS reading. In this lesson, we'll discuss what to expect in the IELTS reading test, how to prepare for it, and some tips for getting a good score. Let's now talk about what to expect in the IELTS reading test. The total duration for the test is 60 minutes. The total duration for IELTS reading test is 60 minutes, and this takes place after your listening test. IELTS reading assesses your ability to read and understand general English or academic English. And in total, there are 3 sections and they contain different types of questions. And text in the reading test are taken from a variety of sources such as books, magazines, newspapers, websites. The questions in the reading test a variety of reading skills. For example, they assess your understanding or your ability to find gist, reading for main ideas, reading for details, and understanding logical argument. So how should you allocate time? As I said earlier, there are 3 sections, 60 minutes, so you'll be spending 20 minutes on each. But then these tests vary in their difficulty. The first one is easier than the second one, and the last one, third one, is more difficult than these two. So what you should do, you should spend less time, maybe 18 minutes, 17 minutes on the first text, and then 20 minutes on the second text, and then for the last one, you should save at least 2 minutes from the first one, so that you could have more time for that, because that's difficult passage. The last one is difficult one. And types of questions, as I said earlier, there are different types of questions and they will require you to know how to attempt each one of them, because you will need different types of strategies for each one of them probably. And time management is absolutely crucial for the test. But what I'll suggest you, when you start preparing in the beginning, don't worry about time. Try to give accurate answers and then slowly and gradually try to do it faster so that you can do it in allocated time. You should be able to finish all these passages within 60 minutes, and you will not get extra time for transferring questions, so you have to manage writing answers on an answer sheet within those 60 minutes. In listening, you get 10 minutes extra to transfer your answers from an answer sheet, from your sheet that was provided to you to an answer sheet, but in reading you are not provided. So time management is really crucial. But don't worry, in the beginning try to do answers right, give correct answers, and then slowly speed up. I hope the structure of IELTS reading test is clear to you. Now let's talk about how to prepare for the IELTS reading test. So first of all, you need to understand the test format and scoring criteria, how you are assessed, how band is scored, and what type of tests are there, what type of questions are there. So understand its structure thoroughly, and then enhance your vocabulary and language skills. Now this can be really difficult for people. They often ask me how to increase our vocabulary. Now the more you read and more the exposure you have for English, the better it is for your vocabulary. But you need to find words, look up its meaning, and start building your own collection of words. Keep referring them on regular basis. But for IELTS, there are different types of topics, so you need to understand what type of topics are there and collect those words that they can be also helpful to you. So but in general, you should improve your reading. You should read as much as you can, you should listen as much as you can, so that you keep increasing your vocabulary. It's not 1 day or 2 days task, it's a lifetime task, because we are not native speakers, so we need to know as many words as possible, and by increasing our exposure to English we'll increase our vocabulary. But then I'll be providing you more tips on increasing your vocabulary in a separate video. Develop effective reading strategies. So the more you read, the better you get at that, as simple as that. But then I'll suggest you, I don't know how you read, but if you read aloud and you understand by reading aloud, then I'll suggest you it might consume your time, because when we read aloud, we actually read each word one by one. For example, if I am looking at this, how to prepare for the IELTS reading test, so that means I'll be reading each syllable, every word. That's time consuming. But if you read silently, your speed might get better. So that works with me, and it works with most of my students. They read silently and then they read faster than they would otherwise by reading aloud. So apply this strategy, see what works for you, because in IELTS time is really crucial. You have to manage time properly. You might be able to do the text within 2 hours, 3 hours, but that's no use for IELTS reading test. So you have to manage the time in 60 minutes. So you have to read faster. You have to learn how to read faster and practice with sample test regularly. So you should find the text. They are easily available online these days, or you can buy books also. Read material. But then let me suggest you one thing. If you are a good reader of any language, those techniques that you apply on your language, Hindi, Urdu, Sindhi, Spanish, Chinese, those techniques of understanding a text will be more or less similar for IELTS reading as well. So if you're a good reader of any other language, you'll still be doing very good on IELTS reading as well. So I hope you got the tips that I provided you. These tips will be really helpful for you if you put them into practice. But now let's talk about common IELTS reading tasks. What sort of questions you'll be given in the IELTS reading test. Multiple choice questions, so there'll be A, B, C, D or even more, and then you'll have to choose the correct option from the given ones. Matching heading or information, these two questions are different and will require different strategies to approach them. I'll make separate video for approaching these question types. So matching information is you'll be given a sentence and you'll have to make sure you have to tell which paragraph contains that information. And as far as headings are concerned, so you'll read the paragraph and you'll look at the list of headings provided in Roman numbers. So you will match them. You'll match the headings with the paragraphs. There'll be more headings than paragraphs, so you'll not be using all of them. So you need to be careful. True, false, not given. Yes, no, not given. These two questions are probably one of the difficult questions, but they are different as well. So you need to understand their difference. The difference is true, false, not given is generally the information given the passage. I mean, factual information could be factual. And then if the statement given in the question is true according to the passage, if it's not true, it's incorrect. Passage says a different thing and the statement in the question says different thing, so then it's false. And not given means the information is not sufficient. You will be given some of the information, but then you will not be able to answer that. You cannot determine if it's true or false because information is insufficient. There is something additional in the question which is not given in the passage. As far as yes, no, not given is questions, these questions look at the statements from a writer's perspective, how he is feeling or how his attitude, opinion or his take is on the statement or scenarios given. So there will be a sentence in true, false, yes, no, not given questions. So you will see if writer agrees with that, then it's yes. Writer doesn't agree with that, then it's no. If once again information is not sufficient or there is additional information which is not given in the passage, then you will take the answer not given. You'll write the answer not given. Summary completion, there may be a summary of the total entire passage, or there can be summary of certain sections or parts of the passage. So there will be summary completion, you'll be putting words in that. Sentence completion, so they can be fill in the blanks, like you'll be provided words, you'll be writing them, or you will be choosing words from the passage and put them in the blanks. Diagram labeling, based on the passage, they will provide you with the structure or figure, so you will be putting words at the relevant sections. This section is not very difficult, but then those who are not used to understanding drawings or diagrams, it can be challenging for them. Matching sentence endings. So you'll be provided a sentence, it will be incomplete. You'll be taking the statement, you'll be looking at the statements from the given options, but you need to find if that is correct according to the passage. So in sentence completion, the strategy, I'll be talking about strategies in a separate class though. So, but then what you need to do is to try to complete the sentence without looking at the headings. That will make the task easier for you. So these are some of the common questions. Also, there are a few others also, table completion. So there are others. So we'll talk about them. I'll make separate videos for approaching each one of them. Let me provide you a few tips for getting a good score in IELTS reading. Skim and scan techniques to save time. So let's understand, if you read all the sentences, all the paragraphs, you will not be able to complete your task within given time. So you need to develop strategies where you should spend less time and understand more. You should be able to answer the questions more in less time, and that you can do by learning how to skim the passage, which means how to understand the gist of the passage by not reading all sections of it, and how to scan means how to look for specific information. So if there are years given, if there are capital names, if there are names of people or cities, they are a lot easier to find because they start with capital or they start with numbers, so they are easy in locating. But you have to practice in finding information, in scanning information. Focus on understanding the main ideas. So that you can do by reading carefully the first sentence of each paragraph, and in certain cases maybe last sentence of each paragraph. So you should understand what is the main idea that you should do in the beginning. In fact, for every passage you should spend 5 minutes in understanding what is the main ideas behind each paragraph. Improve your time management skills. This can really be challenging for you, because I mean it's challenging even for me also at times to read more in less time, and the time on IELTS goes so quick that you will really I wonder how time passes that fast. So you have to learn how to manage your time. You should spend less time on the easier ones by doing them faster. Maybe you should spend more time on the difficult ones. But if you're unable to find the question, don't get stuck up with one question. Move on. If you have time in the end, you can come back and do the question, but do not keep thinking or keep trying if you are not able to find the answer well. So you shouldn't be spending more than 2 minutes for difficult questions, and then of course you should spend less time on easier questions. Use contextual clues to guess unfamiliar words. Now we talked about improving words, improving vocabulary is really important, but as we are non-natives, or most of us are non-natives here, so it will be quite challenging for them to know each and every word. So what you should do, you should try to understand the meaning from the given context. You don't always have to have exact meaning, but you can still get an idea whether it has positive meaning, it has negative meaning. So from the context, from the way discussion is going on, you can develop an idea, and that can still help you also. But once again, understanding words or guessing unfamiliar words from the context can really be difficult also. You need sufficient practice for that. Highlight key information while reading. Be active reader. Keep pen and pencil in your hand if you're doing paper based. So keep looking at the key information. Try to understand what is the key information, what is the most important information that could be used for the question. So keep highlighting it. Maybe topic sentence, you should know, okay, this passage has got this topic and these are details. So be active readers by highlighting, by underlining certain sections of the text which are important. Pay attention to grammar and vocabulary clues also. Sometimes clues, grammatical and vocabulary clues will help you in determining what kind of answer will come, whether you'll be using adjective, adverb, or noun. So context can provide you. You need to understand these parts of speech also, because they are going to help you a lot. If you haven't done it, start learning them. You know, it's a test your English language skills. The more you have, the better it is. And lastly, practice under time conditions. So you, as I said earlier, you may be able to do the passage within 2 hours, but you have to do it within 1 hour, within 60 minutes. So you have to learn how to do that within allocated time. So you have to work, you have to practice under timed conditions. But at the start, in the beginning, don't worry about this part, but before the test, before you actually appear the test, you should be able to do it within allocated time. But in the beginning, try to understand the questions. Here are a few additional tips for a successful IELTS reading test. Read a variety of materials in English to expand your reading comprehension skills. So read magazines, journals, newspapers, research articles, even topics such as environment, traffic congestion, current affairs. So read variety of texts on variety of topics, because that will expand your vocabulary also, and your comprehension skills will also increase as a result. Join study groups or find a study partner to practice with. It's really essential if you can find someone who can study with you, so you can discuss and find the answers together, and then you can discuss strategies also, what works for him or her or what works for you, so you can compare and come up with your own strategies. In classes also, you can find people. Normally in classes, there is an opportunity of putting people, students in groups, and they work together, so they can be helpful also. I mean, classes can be helpful for you also. Seek feedback from teachers or experienced IELTS test takers. So try to network with the people who have already taken tests and try to understand their strategies also. They can help you a lot also. Analyze your mistakes and learn from them. So see, of course you must do practice, but then you also need to understand what type of mistakes you're making. So you need to analyze them. So making mistakes and then understanding them is much better than just keep on doing practice and making same sort of mistakes. So understand the pattern of your mistakes and try to address them. And then lastly, stay calm and confident during the test, because your attitude will boost your confidence. So go with the right attitude, go with the feeling that you'll be doing good, and I'm sure you will really be doing good. So do not go with the nervous mindset, go with cheerful mindedness, confident mindset. That will help a lot. And don't panic if there is 1 or 2 questions you can't do, or even if you can't do more than 1 or 2. It's still, if you panic, you'll be making mistakes in others also. So do not panic, stay calm and confident during the test. So the IELTS reading test takes place after IELTS listening. The total duration for the IELTS reading test is 60 minutes. There will be 3 passages and they vary in difficulty. The first one is easier and the last one is more difficult than the first 2. So you need to spend time accordingly. Spend more time on the last passage and spend a little less than 20 minutes on the first passage, maybe 17 minutes or 18 minutes and 22 minutes or 23 minutes on the last passage. You will not be provided extra time to transfer answers to an answer sheet, so you must do it at the same time when you are answering them. So you need to manage the time within those 60 minutes and understand the test format well. So this is what I have told you. This is the test format, and practice as much as you can. Practice with authentic material. Real IELTS tests are available online in books form as well. So get them, practice with them, and go with confidence and positive mindset for the test. And I'm telling you, it really matters. If you go with defeated mindset, you might already be defeated, but if you go a winner mindset, that might boost your confidence, might encourage you more. Thank you everybody for watching this video on IELTS reading. By implementing these strategies and tips, you'll be better prepared for IELTS and you will do the test with confidence. Remember, practice makes perfect, so keep practicing and good luck for your IELTS journey.